Okay, I'm here with Jack Chambers at Northwestern University. Jack, obviously you're here in your capacity as Minister for Sport, but this is about so much more than sport, isn't it? The connection between Ireland and the United States through the prism of the College Football Classic.
Yeah, no, we're really positive that we've this 5-year series, and obviously it's one match, and we hope we've Northwestern and Nebraska coming next summer, next August. But it is about so much more, and engaging and seeing the huge support and the appetite amongst the American community here in the Midwest to travel, to participate in so many activities around the game, the academic opportunities and the cultural connections between Ireland and the US, the sporting connections as well. So it is one game, but there's so many more opportunities for the two countries to build those strong links that are there, and it's great to see that going to happen now over a 5-year cycle, and there's huge economic benefits for Ireland, and to embed those connections.
When you're here in your role in the United States, what's the most common theme when it comes to the curiosity that Americans have about the economic opportunities that Ireland produces at the moment?
Well, Americans, so many of the Americans I've engaged with have, they might be employers, or they've huge connections to Ireland as it is, both in Dublin or in the regions, and are employing many people. They see Ireland as an outward-looking, positive about trade, importance of being in the European Union, but also the huge cultural connections between the two countries, and how Ireland really embraces sport. The Irish fans as well, supporting so many different sports, and embracing college football as has happened in the past. So I think for sport, for business, for just embedding those economic connections and those cultural connections between the two countries, people are really excited about that in the US, that I've spoken to over the last day or so, and I think there's many people here looking forward to travelling to Dublin, but also across the country next summer. They're talking as well about the Ryder Cup in 2027, so the opportunities are there for tourism and for just building that connection between the two countries, particularly as we exit from COVID. A lot of Americans haven't got to travel over the last year or so, and I think many are looking forward to getting back and having a good holiday in Ireland, and but also opening up those business and academic opportunities. It was good to engage with Northwestern, and a lot of people here in Northwestern are really open about trying to engage with third level institutions in Ireland and trying to build those scientific research opportunities as well. So this one game brings so many other opportunities for Ireland, and I think we know Irish people embrace opportunities like this too.
For sure, and the €147 million figure that's been produced is just an incredible number. So economically, it makes unbelievable sense, and it's a huge opportunity for Ireland. What about the sporting side of things then, Jack? When you think about the relationship between Ireland and college football, and how Ireland can benefit on a sporting level from an event like this. Is that something that you've thought about at all? Because obviously the economic thing is the most important thing, and I'm sure that's been the top of everybody's mind.
Yeah, no, but there's always sporting opportunities with major events, and we have a lot of people who are interested in college football, but also interested in American football. And I think seeing a major event come to Ireland might be a catalyst for a young person to maybe start playing American football, to start playing sport in general. I think the more sporting events we have in Ireland that the people see close to home, it's trying to spring an interest in sport in some way, shape or form, whether it's just getting increased activity. But I think we, from a sporting perspective, it's really positive, and it also shows that Ireland can host major events. Obviously where college football is one, but that we want to start with a major events unit in the Department of Sport, and we're looking at a number of opportunities over the next decade to show that Ireland is open to host major events, and the huge benefits.
Those events, sorry to interrupt, the other opportunities that you're talking about, or is it further afield in America?
Well, all opportunities. So I mean, we want to embrace opportunities that work for Ireland, and I think when major events have come to Ireland in the past, it's brought huge economic opportunities to the country, and also people who have an interest in sport embrace watching them even at home or going to the match itself. So look, it's positive across all aspects.
So there's a major events team is there within the department, and is that a new setup, and what other is there anything else you can tell us, I guess, about any other opportunities that you're planning?
Yeah, so we've a major events unit in the Department of Sport. It was set up in recent years, and we'll be formalising kind of a whole major events policy as well. That's something that we want to do in this as Minister for Sport, but also in the programme for government. Formalising a major events policy around sport is something we want to try and build on, so that we have a structure that shows how Ireland can host major events. And so, as you know, we're in a process with the UK around the FIFA World Cup at the moment, but we've a whole other array of other events that some of them may be considered major, some are minor, but it's trying to spring that and be that catalyst for sport in Ireland, and it brings huge economic opportunities for all. And the major events unit is a structure we want to keep as a permanent place so that we can engage with different sports and potential opportunities that work for Ireland.
It's really interesting. Like, obviously, because the 2023 Rugby World Cup bid didn't go so well from an Irish perspective, I'm sure there was a lot of things that were taken away from that. So how is the FIFA World Cup bid going along these lines then? And what have you learned from maybe this event, from the 2023 World Cup failure, if you can use that word, when you're actually trying to get this bid up and running?
Well, there's always learnings from and we know 2023 World Cup didn't happen, but I think establishing the structure, keeping it there, having it staffed and resourced is something. We've had a significant increased allocation of the budget this year for the major events unit, for example, and developing a policy around that, so that there's that kind of long-term permanence, and there's a structure there and a leadership team, and there is in our major events unit at the moment. The FIFA World Cup bid is progressing, so there's ongoing economic analysis of it. We brought an updated memo to Cabinet there in the last number of weeks as a kind of progress update, and so we're working with the football associations. A bid board is being established, and that will kind of formalise how the bid structure will work, and there's ongoing progress on that.
And where is the progress at the moment?
So a bid board is being established, and the representative of the government and of the FAI on that, and there's ongoing kind of economic analysis on the bid and how it will work, and that whole piece and there's detailed analysis ongoing on kind of formalising how it will work across the different footballing nations and between the two governments.
Was there ever any concern on that front about the scenes at the Euro 2020 final at all? And maybe there was some suggestion that should Ireland get into bed with England on this front, considering that the Wembley final was a bit of a disaster from the FA's point of view?
Well, look, there's about 2030, and I think any event where there has to be learnings, and the FA will have to obviously. I'm sure they've had significant reflection on that. I know they've engaged with obviously UEFA on the learnings on that, and I think that will be strengthened. But I think we're looking at an event in 2030. We want to see, again, we're ongoing analysis of the economic potential and the bid structure and that. And I think we have to be ambitious about major events and the potential it offers Ireland, and the work is ongoing in that.
Just one last thing I wanted to ask you about, just when it comes to the things that you learned personally from this trip. We just had a tour around this facility, and it's absolutely unbelievable. I think anybody who comes to a US college and sees their sporting facilities generally gets blown away, especially from an Irish perspective. Obviously, we're talking about a totally different stratosphere when it comes to the resources at their disposal, and the fundraising these people do is incredible. But is there anything that you've learned, or that Ireland as a sporting society can take from the operation that places like Northwestern University operate with?
Well, the facilities and infrastructure are phenomenal, and it's high performance at its best. It's most up-to-date, modern, high performance, and to see it happening within a university campus, and the level of training and ambition across the Olympic sports, but also the team sports. I think we can take learnings from the scale of the infrastructure. Like we have a new master plan, for example, for this national sports campus, and ensuring we get more sports in there, develop that synergy around high performance across all the different sports, and our new high performance strategy seeks to do that within the sports campus, and also building that collaboration between universities and the high performance system. I think we can strengthen that. From a finance perspective, we have increased our allocation for sport in the most recent budget. We've also got a package for the recovery of sport that we secured. I think one of the things that's interesting from engaging with Northwestern, they've got huge philanthropic investment as well, and I think that's something probably Ireland Inc. can maybe do more of as well. In addition to the state doing more, I think trying to see how we can embrace that around some infrastructure and across our university system as well. If you look at across the US, how philanthropic input has really helped the development of facilities and infrastructure. The state is doing more and will do more, and we're ambitious around high performance, but also around building community facilities and infrastructure for local clubs. And I think when people see the sports capital and equipment program in the next number of weeks, you'll see one of the most ambitious, well-funded programs in many years. So we're matching the level of demand from clubs with a significant increased investment. Obviously, major sporting infrastructure like this is a huge scale of investment, and we have the large-scale sports infrastructure fund, which has provided and will provide a huge amount of infrastructure. But the facilities of the scale of Northwestern and what you see in other parts of the Midwest are, there are certainly learnings we can take, and the huge benefit it brings to their sporting system. And I think the one thing that's our high performance system, our high performance strategy speaks to, is how we can build better collaboration between high performance and universities. And in fairness, that's happening in some universities, it is, but I think they really do it well here. And I suppose as well, what are the philanthropic opportunities where people who are passionate about sport and have been successful, how we can partner with them to try and really build that better infrastructure. And I think there's probably opportunities in that front as well. But we're around sports generally, we're on a good funding trajectory at the moment, and we want to try and deliver on that for clubs and grassroots, for our young people, but also for our high performance athletes as they get into the Paris cycle, and then as well for across all the other sports as well. Indoor sport has had a particularly challenging time the last 18 months. So seeing the recovery of that is a big priority for me over the next number of weeks and months.